You know, we all think of our family tree as something that looks backwards, a record of where we came from. But what if I told you it could also be a roadmap for where you're going? Today, we're going to explore how your family's history can literally become a blueprint for your future health. So let me just start with this question. What if your family tree could actually predict your future health? I mean, really think about that. What if the secrets to staying healthy, to preventing certain illnesses, what if they're already written down in your family's story, just sitting there, waiting for you to find them? Okay, so before we can build this amazing health blueprint, we've got to talk about a huge problem with the way we've traditionally looked at family history. The truth is, for most of us, we're really only seeing half the picture. So in a lot of cultures, keeping track of family lines is a really big deal. A great example is the Korean jokbo. Now, these are super detailed family records, but they have this one massive blind spot. Historically, they were built around the man's surname, and what that means is they pretty much only track the father's side of the family. And right there, that's the problem. Because your DNA, your genetic makeup, it's a perfect 50-50 split, right? You get half from your dad's side, half from your mom's side. So if your family records only follow one of those lines, it's like you're trying to solve this incredibly important puzzle about yourself with half the pieces just gone. So the big question is, how do we get that full picture? Well, there's a modern approach to this, and the source material we're looking at today calls it the Keepsake Memory Record Book. Yeah, you can basically think of it as your family tree, but for the 21st century. It's not some dusty old book locked away somewhere. No, this is a living document. And its whole purpose is to capture your entire genetic story by treating both your mom's side and your dad's side with equal importance. And what's really cool is that this new way of thinking goes way beyond just names and dates. It's really about capturing the human story, the real essence of the people who came before you. So this record, it's designed to capture all the rich details of a person's life. We're talking about their values, their favorite songs or foods, their hobbies, all those little things that really bring an ancestor to life. But the single most powerful piece of information you can possibly collect, the thing that will have the biggest impact on your future, is your family's medical history. So instead of just, staring at an old photograph and wondering about them, this whole approach pushes us to ask real questions. Like, what was the most important life lesson your great-grandmother wanted to pass on? What was her story? And what about your grandfather? What was his favorite memory from when he was a kid? See, all these details, they take a name on a chart and turn it back into a real person. But here's the kicker. This personal legacy is also a medical legacy. And that's exactly where this all turns into a practical blueprint for your own health. All right, so this brings us right to the heart of the matter. All this information we're talking about, especially the medical stuff, it's not just some fun hobby. It is an incredibly powerful tool for preventative health. There's a quote from the source material that just says it perfectly. The past medical history records of maternal and paternal ancestors will be good data for protecting the health of descendants. I mean, that's it right there. When you document the health of all your recent ancestors, you're creating this amazing data set. It's one of the best things you can do to help protect the health of your kids, and their kids too. Okay, so what does this actually look like? Let's check out this sample chart. You can see how tracking these conditions across generations starts to form a real pattern. So in this example, high blood pressure pops up on both sides of the family. Diabetes, that's on the paternal side. So for you, at the bottom, this isn't a diagnosis, not at all. But it is a huge, flashing sign that says, hey, you should probably be proactive and keep an eye on these specific things. And that is the key insight. That's the whole point. When you spot a condition, whether it's heart disease or diabetes or something else, showing up over 2 or more generations, that is a major heads up. It absolutely does not mean you're doomed to get it. But what it does mean is you might have a genetic predisposition. And that is knowledge you can actually use. That is literally what preventative care is all about. Okay, so this all sounds great, maybe even a little overwhelming, but how do you actually get started? Well, let's break it down into a really simple, practical plan that you could honestly start today. It all comes down to a simple 4-step cycle. Plan, do, check, and act. So first, you plan. Just decide how far back you want to go. Maybe start small, just with your parents and grandparents. Easy enough. Then you do. This is the fun part. Start talking to your relatives who are still around. Collect their stories and, gently ask about their health history. Third, you check. Just do your best to make sure the information is accurate. And finally, you act. You put it all together into a family health chart and, this is the most important part, you share it. It becomes this incredible gift for the next generation. And that really brings it all full circle, doesn't it? Your family history is so much more than just a bunch of stories about the past. It's a living, breathing document, and you are a part of it, writing your chapter right now. When you take these steps, you're not just finding out where you came from. You are actively building a legacy of health and awareness for everyone who comes after you. So the only real question left to ask is, what health legacy will you leave?